and welcome to Philip Hughes Astronomy Live from Athens on the 22nd of March 2009. What you're now looking at is an image of the Sun through my personal solar telescope. The conditions aren't very good, but I did manage to take some photographs today, and just visible on the top right are some small prominences which look like flames and people thought were flames in the old days, but now they're known to be structures in the outer Sun which are caused by magnetic loops. As I walk back, I'm actually going to show you the personal solar telescope itself, which is amateur equipment used for looking at the Sun. It is one of the current entry-level models, and this was the first one to come out in the early 2000s, and I had mine as a present for my 50th birthday in 2005. There is another competitor available now by Lunt Solar Systems called the LS35, which is slightly smaller, but unfortunately nobody as yet has been able to do any head-to-head tests to see which one is the best, but it will be really interesting to find out. If we look at the objective, you'll notice that this is a lot smaller than most amateur telescopes. And the big problem is price. That the ones which are large enough, like these large nighttime telescopes, would in fact cost several £1000s, and this is really entry level. But having said that, I've still managed to get some nice views of the Sun through it and also taken some good pictures. I'm currently using my portable setup, which is what I use when I'm abroad. And I'm in fact now in Athens, and I'll just show you a little bit of the backdrop. Here you can see a mountain over the city. I remember the first take of this was rather noisy, and unfortunately you can still hear the traffic of Athens in the background and a dog barking. So what makes the PST and its cousin the LS35 very interesting is it's brought solar astronomy within the reach of amateurs. And the great bit about this is actually housed just before the box, and it's called an etalon. And what that does is it isolates a small bandwidth of solar light called the hydrogen alpha range, and that means that structures like prominences and filaments can be seen with amateur equipment, and indeed a lot of keen amateurs with larger instruments have taken some absolutely fantastic photographs through the larger cousins of this instrument. In here is what is called the magic box, which focuses the light from the Sun, and there's a little gadget here which is called the Sol Ranger, and you can actually see a white dot, and that is used to help you find the Sun. At the business end, I've got an eyepiece, and this is one that I've bought specifically from Coronado, who also supplied the telescope. And by amateur standards, it's quite an expensive eyepiece, and it's called the CE Max 12 because it has a focal length of 12mm. And also it's quite good for nighttime viewing, and I often take it as part of my portable equipment while travelling. One thing you'll notice if you're viewing this from England is you'll actually see that even though it's about 11:10 in the morning, I'm actually pointing the telescope quite high up, That's because we're further south at Greece and the sun is a lot closer to overhead than it is in England and northern parts of the United States and Canada. Now it has cleared a little bit, I'm just going to find the sun again, and I do this by centering this white dot in the middle. So I just make some subtle adjustments on my tripod and I look through the eyepiece to see if I can find it. Having a bit of trouble at the moment because I'm actually near the top of the range, and we can actually now see the solar disk, which is partly obscured by cloud. I'm going to try zooming out a little bit to try and get the whole disk in, and now I'm going to concentrate on the top right limb to see if the prominences can actually show up on the video. If you can't see them, they'll certainly be available on my website, so try googling Philip Hughes Astronomy and the first hit will be my website. Also from there you should see many of the other excellent photographs taken by other amateurs such as Nick Howes and Larry Alvarez. Anyway, this is it. Philip Hughes Astronomy live from Athens, March the 22nd, 2009.